Good morning. Welcome to Hatha Gentle Yoga, a practice you can do no matter your skill level for beginners as well as more experienced yogis, and we'll make some modifications. Always remembering to protect yourself, your knees, using blankets, always going into child's pose or table anytime you come out of breath. So today's practice, we're going to focus on the thought of compassion. It's near Thanksgiving, so we're going to come to an open-hearted pose using a bolster at the top of our mat. So if you'll join me. And so you set up a bolster long ways with your low back right up around the bolster, just joining your low back, and then just gently you can lay back, letting your feet spread out or possibly your feet touch and butterfly. Maybe a big breath in, sigh it away. And today we're just going to focus on being soft. Soft with ourselves. That feeling of compassion, not only outward but also inward. Showing love and kindness. Things don't always go as we would like. And just settling in, growing heavy on your mat or bolster, however you're positioned. Smoothing out your forehead, your jawline. Just letting your bones feel heavy, but in a good way. And bringing your attention to your breath. Noticing your breath today. Is it shallow? Is it fast or slow? Is it calm or nervous? And just seeking to slow down that breath, but just into a comfortable rhythm of inhales and exhales. On the inhale, air waves up through your belly, up into your lungs, waves up into your rib cage, shoulder blades. On the exhale, your belly drops just like a balloon. It lowers, lowers, lowers. Belly button to spine. And so while you're noticing, putting your attention on your breath, I'm going to do a little astrology, tell you a little about the energy today. This is the week of Thanksgiving, Monday of the week of Thanksgiving. And so some of the aspects, which are where the planets are in relation to the sun, being in the middle, they make different formations, and sometimes they're smoother formations, sometimes they're a little more challenging. So this week, one of the formations that's at the forefront is we have Venus at one part of the sky and Uranus at an opposite part of the sky. and Uranus makes this energy line with Venus. And these two together create a little excitement. You might get a surprise. Things may change throughout the week, or it might be something a little unexpected happens. It could be at work. It could be in a relationship. Or it could be a flash of creative genius comes to you. So a little bit of excitement, a little unpredictability in a good way with Venus. So just watch for that and notice your thoughts around it. If it throws you off, like Thanksgiving Day, you've got somebody coming, your kids are coming, and they say, oh, we'll be there at 2 instead of 4. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready yet. You know, try to go with the flow. Try to just go with it. The other thing we have, I've noticed throughout the whole week of formation, is between the planets Mercury and Neptune. Mercury is our thinking, our mental body, and Neptune is kind of the planet of imagination, no limits, the planet of water, where everything is fluid and flows. And so that energy is going to allow us to really sink into our instincts, our intuition. You may dream more this week. You may find yourself in kind of a daydreamy kind of a quality this week. So just lean into that. You know, if you're feeling like, you know, you just want to binge watch a TV show or read a book, nothing too serious, then do that. That's what Mercury trine Neptune would ask of us this week. Middle of the week, we've got the moon conjoining Mars. That's where the two stand together in the sky. That's going to give us a big burst of energy on Wednesday. So don't worry if you're not ready yet for Thanksgiving. You're going to get it all done on Wednesday. That'll be around Wednesday and Thursday. And then over the weekend, we're setting up for another full moon. So things might start to feel a little itchy, a little frustration. But leading up to that, the moon's in Taurus, and so it's also some feel-good vibes. So leaning into self-indulgence, you know, things you enjoy with your senses. Maybe it's decorating for Christmas, it's lighting your fireplace, it's getting some nice candles out. Sunday is a good day for resting, relaxing, avoiding conflict. You might be a little irritable on Sunday, so just take a walk. Don't let it get you down. So that's our little energy report while we were focusing on our breath a minute. So just coming back into your heart space. Maybe putting one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, feeling that breath flow in, flow out, and allowing that to carry us throughout our practice today. Trying to match your breath with your movements. And if you become out of breath, just stop. Go into child's pose, it's okay. So maybe a big deep breath in and sigh it away. You can bring your arms overhead for a good morning stretch. Maybe flexing and pointing your toes. And then when you're ready, you can make your way to seated, maybe rolling up, maybe doing the rocky horse pose. Whatever feels good to you, you can join me in your seat. Big tall back, roll your shoulders a few times if you need to. And first, let's drop our chin down to our chest. Let's check in with the back of our neck, just letting our head grow heavy. On your next exhale, roll your left ear over to your left shoulder. Take your right arm and you can bring your fingers to the mat and make that stretch a little deeper. Breathing in and out. Maybe you want to take your left hand to the top of your head and push up, not pushing down, push up with your head. Breathing a little more of a stretch. Breathing in and out. We'll let that go. Chin back down to chest. Now let's raise our eyes and our chin up to the sky. Stretching underneath, a counter stretch. Breathing in on the exhale, chin back to chest. Next exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Spend a cycle of breath here. And then spider tip walking those left fingers onto the side of your mat. Breathing in, breathing out. Deciding if you want to bring your right hand to rest up on top of your head so you can push up into your hand. Beautiful. You can let all of that go. We're going to raise our arms to the sky, reaching, reaching, reaching. And then sending our left hand to our right shoulder in a twist, looking over that back shoulder. Breathing in and out. Gaze comes forward first, arms shoot back up. Reach, reach, reach. Right hand to left shoulder, left knee. Being willing to laugh at yourself when you miscue or you go the wrong way. Gaze forward first, upper body forward. Now we're going to do that stirring motion as if your upper body is a spoon, your lower body is a bowl or a cup of tea. You can have your hands at heart center. You can just rest your hands on your knees. Finding some openness in your hips. And leading with your heart. That's the advice of the ages. Leading with our heart. Sometimes hard to do. We get our feelings hurt. Go the opposite way. This little angel card I pulled says, soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. All right, so then let's, need to move my blanket here. We'll bring our arms up long again, and then we're gonna forward fold, leading with your upper body, with your heart, spider tip your fingers. Then you can let your head hang. We're going to walk those hands over to the left. Back through center, over to the right. Back through center, walking back up. Let's change the cross of our legs to the opposite leg on top now. So we'll feel that in our other hip. And this time we're going to bring up cactus arms or goalpost arms. We're going to bring these elbows together. We're going to bring the right underneath the left, making eagle arms. So wherever you can link your hands and your wrists together. And then slowly we're going to start to fold over again. Feeling a big stretch. Probably in your right hip. Just let your head and neck be soft. Probably in your upper shoulders. Let's bring that back up. Taking your arms apart, back to those cactus arms. And then we'll bring our elbows together again, this time sweeping left under right. So other side. And then we'll fold again. Breathe it out. Coming back up. Unwinding, maybe bringing your arms out, making a few circles, one direction, few circles, the opposite direction. And then we'll make our way to our hands and knees. So coming into your table, wrists underneath the shoulders, fingers spread wide like starfish, knees underneath of hips. Tap the tops of your feet on the floor just to wake up those nerves in the tops of our feet. And then we'll work our way through some cats and cows. So on an inhale, your belly drops, tailbone tips, gaze goes up. Exhale, spine pushes away to the sky and cat. Inhale, tailbone tips, gaze goes up. Cat, pushing it away. And a few of these at your own pace. Trying to link your movement to the breath. Then finding stillness. We're going to look out at the wall in front of you or window, whatever you have in front of you. We're going to raise our left arm up in front and we're going to push our right foot back into bird dog. Foot is flexed, toes are pointed down. Doesn't matter how high that foot goes. You can get it off the ground. That's what we want. Now while we're here, let's see if we can lift those left toes off of the ground. So you're just on your knee. It's hard. Practice. You can bring that toe back down at any time. A little more of a balance pose. And now bring that toe down. We're going to bring our left arm down. Leg still extended. We'll take that leg and we're going to cross it over our body. And then we're going to slide it back at a diagonal, coming into half pigeon. So scoot yourself how you need to. Maybe you can rest on your forearms. Maybe you can rest on your hands. Finding softness. We'll come back up using our hands and that back toe, tucking that toe. Let's lift our back leg up again, the right leg. And this time we're going to swing it around to the right and seal it down right beside us. When you got it there, we'll sink back again, coming into a half child's pose. Rocking back up on your hands and knees. The right leg comes back into table. Resetting your table. We're going to put our attention on our right arm. We're going to swing that right arm up to the sky. And then a little twist. And then we'll take those fingers of the right hand and sweep them down and all the way through, threading the needle, laying that right shoulder down on the ground. And you might bring your left hand up near your head. You might decide you want to take that left leg and stretch it out. So your left arm and leg are one long line. You can be up on those left toes. Breathing in. Breathing out. Walking that hand back up to your face to support yourself. We're going to swing that arm back up. Knee comes back in. Reaching for the sky. Good job. And back to table. So I always like to transition. You guys know, let's swish it out a little bit. Hips to the left, hips to the right, and that skiers movement. Bending your elbows, really sinking over to the side. Finding stillness, resetting. Gaze goes in front of you, and then your arm joins your gaze, reaching for the wall in front. Your right arm, left foot kicks back into bird dog. Hold here for just a moment, and then decide if you want to try to lift those right toes, maybe coming up on the right toes, and then seeing if you can even take them off the ground for a moment. A little more balance. Woo, and when you've had enough, that right hand comes down. We're going to take that left leg and swing it across our body and the other leg at a diagonal. And then we're going to sweep that leg all the way back, coming into half pigeon. Take a moment here. Being soft with yourself. Starting to make your way up. Tuck those left toes. It'll help you to walk them up and around, bringing them all the way over to the side. Sealing that left foot to the ground. I'm going to shift back for half child. We'll walk the hands back in, foot comes back in, back to your table. Reset a moment. Then the left arm sweeps to the sky in a little twist. Maybe wiggle your fingers. And then let those fingers graze the wall, coming all the way through, threading the needle, shoulder lays down, cheek lays down. Finding softness. And then maybe snaking that right arm up overhead. And maybe that right leg would like to come back on the toes for a little balance. Just breathe. Arm and hand come up near your face. Knee comes back in. Raising up on that right hand. Left arm sweeps up to the sky. And then back to your mat. Finding table again. Then we're going to walk our hands out to the upper corners of our mat, coming into that puppy pose. So when your hands are touching the top corners, it's like an extended table. We'll sink back in our hips, really stretching in our heart space, our pectoral muscles. It's where our heart chakra lives. Coming back up, walking your hands back in, meeting at table. When you're ready, we're going to tuck our toes. We're going to lift our knees off the ground just a little bit. Crouching tiger. And then really putting energy into those toes. We'll start to shift our hips up into downward dog. Walk your dog. Maybe you'd like to swing your feet over to the right, over to the left. Finding stillness in your downward dog. We're gonna take our right hand off of the mat and we're gonna reach back for our left leg. So it's a three-legged dog, but with our arms. Maybe your hand only goes under your knee. On your knee, that's fine. Breathing in and out. Right hand comes back down to the mat. Let's switch sides, left hand to right leg. Hand back down to the mat. We're gonna walk those hands back to our feet. So walk, walk, walk on the mat until you're in forward fold at the back of your mat. And then we're gonna bring our feet wide at the back of our mat, linking elbows to hands. We're just gonna ragdoll. Just gently swaying from side to side. Imagining, maybe wishing we were a palm tree at the ocean right now. Wouldn't that be nice? Finding stillness, we're gonna let those hands go. We're gonna plant that left hand in front of our face and we're gonna swing the right arm up in a twist. Maybe bending a little more in the left knee. Right knee straightens. And then maybe you'd like to take a bind, really pulling that shoulder, that elbow up so you can look up. Breathing in, breathing out. If it hurts, let it go. Don't take yourself too serious here. Arm back to the sky, back to the earth. Shake it out. Just let yourself sway like that palm tree in your forward fold. Now right hand plants down on the mat in front of your face. We'll sweep that left arm up. And you might want to really bend in that right knee, straightening the left. Then deciding if you want to take that bind and look up at the sky. Breathing in, breathing out. Arm comes undone, back down to the earth. We're going to walk our hands out and we're going to come back on our knees. Table. And then we're going to sink back in child's pose. Taking a few moments in your child's pose. Get re-centered. Find that heart space again. And then when you're ready, we're going to start coming back up to table. We're going to tuck our toes again. Downward dog. Beautiful downward dogs. We're going to look between our hands. We're going to lift our left foot up behind us, three-legged dog with our foot. And then we're going to step that left foot up to the top of our mat in runners. Great place to use your block here. Gaze forward. You can pull that left hip back, right hip forward if you like. Feeling strong. Let's let that right knee come down. Grab your blanket if you like, if your knee bothers you. So knees still down in runners. Maybe walking those front toes forward of the left foot. we're going to shift back into that splits pose. Coming back on your heel. And then just forward folding. Letting your heart lead the way. Maybe taking those toes to the left. Back through center, toes to the right. Ooh, I feel that in my hip. Toes back through center. Now let's walk our hands up toward that front foot. And we're going to actually walk our left hand inside that front foot. And we're going to walk that front left foot all the way over, maybe even off of your mat. We're going to come into dragon. So if your knee's really bothering you, you can tuck your right toes and come back up. And then we're just going to open that left foot, maybe positioning your right hand underneath your face so you can push that left knee away. Well, however you like your dragon to feel. Finding openness in your hip. Breathe it out. Set that back knee down anytime or pick it back up, whatever you need. We'll walk that foot back down. We'll start to walk it in between both hands. Now we'll definitely tuck our back toes. We're going to step all the way up to the top of our mat, forward fold. Walking our hands up for flat back. Gaze is forward, rolling our shoulders, and then reverse all the way up, reaching for the sky. And while we're up here, let's come up on our tippy toes, practicing our balance for just a moment. Up on tippy toes, all four corners. Now let's rock back on our heels. Tippy toes. Rock back on our heels. And then settling down all four corners. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Take a cleansing breath here. Inhale. Sigh it away. We'll bring our arms out to each side into our mountain, rolling our shoulders back, palms facing forward. Growing strong in our mountain, tightening through our legs and our hands and our shoulders, everywhere, just feeling strong. You could even bring your fist. Tightening, tightening, tightening. Fingers grow long again. We'll release and we'll shift into chair. Doesn't that make chair easier, or is that just me? I want your opinion on that. One more breath in chair. Good job. Hands meet the mat. Forward fold. Breathing in. Breathing out. This time we'll shift that right foot back into runners. So your left foot's forward, right foot back. Use your block for runners if you need it. Gaze is forward, focusing on our hips. Pulling that right one in, left one forward a little. Then we'll lay that left foot on the ground, left knee on the ground, untucking our toes. We're going to start to walk those front toes up just a little so we can shift back into splits. You can use your block here, coming on your heel. Taking a breath and then starting to sink forward. Openness in your shoulders. Neck is soft, jaw is soft. Forehead is soft. Toes to the right. Toes to the left. Back through center. Oh, that was my chinchilla. I don't know if you guys heard her. She was squeaking. And then we'll walk that foot back up, bringing our right hand to the inside. We'll walk that foot out to the edge of your mat or maybe even off of your mat. Padding for your knee, or you can come up on your toes. We'll start to walk our left hand more underneath our face, opening that foot up, and maybe that right hand can rest on your knee or help to open. Breathing. Coming out at any time, setting that back knee down at any time. One more breath here. Then we'll set our foot down on the ground. And we'll start to walk that foot in. We're going to bring our right hand outside the foot again, and we're going to sweep it back through table. Move your blankets, move your props. Knees come wide on your mat. And then we'll just sink into child's pose. Focusing on that breath. Waving up into your lungs. And back down and out. Let's spider tip our fingers. Head off the ground, maybe gaze forward, maybe at your mat. We're going to walk those hands to the left. Back through center, over to the right. Good place to use that Ujjayi breath, ocean breath. They can help you to focus. When you're taking a big, deep stretch back through center, we're going to walk up to table, hands and knees again, maybe some swishing from side to side as you transition. We're going to tuck our toes. When you're ready, making your way back up the downward dog. Do what you need here. We're going to look up between our hands, big bend in our knees, left foot steps up, right foot 45, warrior one. When your feet are settled, then you can bring your upper body up. Sometimes we'll get into our warrior one and decide, okay, I don't like where my foot is. We'll just adjust it. We don't mind. We're going to swing our arms into warrior two arms. Then adjusting our feet again. Back foot becomes parallel to the mat. Front foot walks toward the center of your mat. So you're on one railroad track you're standing on. Gaze over front fingers. We're going to flip our palms. Actually, both palms to the sky. And when we exalt our warrior, we're going to pretend we've got a ball in our hands. So you're going to bring that left arm up and over, exalting, palms facing palms, as if you're holding a big beach ball. When you're ready, swing that beach ball around, both arms coming all the way. Maybe your elbow to your knee. Maybe you can extend that arm all the way out. Coming up for warrior two arms again. Let's do that one more time. We're going to flip our palms to the sky. We're going to exalt our warrior, bringing left palm over to reach the right, grabbing a hold of our ball. And we actually are. This is an energy ball. Do you feel your palms tingling a little bit? That's the energy between them. And then we're going to walk our paw with our hands All the way over. Side angle stretch. Maybe that's too much. You got to come down with your left elbow. That's okay. Feel your hands tingle. We're going to take those hands. We're going to place them on the mat. We're going to flip our back toes. We're going to take our left foot back to meet the right into plank. You can stay here for a moment or two, or go ahead and take your chaturanga. Knees, chest, and chin. Coming all the way down, up for baby cobra. If you're ready for up dog, go for it. Looking over one shoulder and then the other. We're going to tuck our toes and come back up for downward dog. 3 breaths here. Finding stillness, big bend of your knees, looking between your hands. This time that right foot steps up, back foot seals down at a 45. Coming up for warrior one. Adjust your feet as you need to, adjust your hands how you like. If you don't want your arms all the way up, prayer hands is perfectly fine. Anjali, finding that balance. And then when you're ready, swing those arms into warrior two arms. Make your foot adjustments. Warrior two. We're going to flip both palms to the sky. The right palm swings over to exalt, finding that energy ball. Feel your palms tingling. Then walk your ball up to the sky. And then back over for a side ankle stretch. We'll unwind that, back to warrior two arms again. Feeling grounded, strong warrior women. Flipping both palms again. Right hand exalts, holding our ball. And walking that ball all the way over. Side body stretch. And we're going to take those hands and bring them all the way down to the earth. Stepping up with that back foot. Forward fold. Let it all go. Maybe even sighing. Let it all go. Then we're going to take and walk our feet to the wide edges of the mat. Feet are parallel to both sides of your mat, so that means they're straight. You're still in a forward fold. Maybe you can even bring those feet out wider and start to walk those hands behind you if that's available. We're going to walk those hands back in front of our face. And then we're going to let our hands connect with our hips at flat back. So we're going to come up, but we're going to do it slowly since we've been down for a little bit. Slowly, 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 starting to make your way up. We're going to bring our arms up to the sky. We're going to interlace our fingers and flip our palms to the sky. And just like with that energy ball, and you might even want to walk your feet in a step with, we're gonna make some circles. I find this movement helpful when I wake up in the morning. If you're sore or your body feels cranky, we're just gonna make some big body circles. So we're gonna take our arms and we're gonna swing them, still connected, to the left, all the way down to the ground, but not touching, and back up through the right, making a big circle with our body. And you can use, if your arms or hands connected is too much, you can Do the Charlie's Angel pose with your finger pointed and fingers interlaced, or you can even hold that energy ball like what we talked about. And we're going to swing down to the left, back up through the right. One more time to the left. This is kind of like a whole body wake up to me anyway. Let's go the other way. 3 the other way. To the right, down to the base, back up. And you can switch your arms around however you like. This gets my shoulders going, my hips, waking everything up. And when you've done your 3, we're going to bring our hands to our hips. Maybe sigh it away if you need to. We've done a lot today. We're going to start to walk our feet in a little bit. We're going to come down in that garland pose, that squat. So you want a little wider than your hips, toes pointed out. And then we're going to start rocking through our knees, working our way down. Because maybe you're like, I don't know if I can do a squat today. Just see if you can start walking your way down. Walk and use your hands. Walking your way down. And then before you know it, you can get to something to where you can, maybe you're up on tippy toes. And when you get to your version of a squat, hanging out there, see if you can bring your hands to heart center and using your elbows to pull your knees away. Sigh it away if you need to. And we're this far, we may as well go to frog, right? We are in a water sign, the moon's in Pisces right now. That dreaminess, and frog offers cleansing, all that stress in our hips. So what we'll do is make our hands join the earth, and then one knee, we'll let one knee come down, and then we'll let the other knee come down. And then we'll start walking those knees apart, wherever you can get those knees to. And then looking back at one leg, you want your lower leg to shoot off your knee in a straight line. Foot is flexed. Looking at the other leg, straight line, foot is flexed. Using your props here. A bolster is awesome because all you have to do is just lay down on your bolster and you're in frog. Anytime it feels like it's not enough, just shift back a little bit. It'll be plenty. Finding some softness in your upper body. And just letting your lower body do the work. You don't need to do anything. This is enough. Just imagine that openness in your heart and a release of all the things that no longer serve you. Letting it go. And start to walk our hands back up. And when you get strong on your hands, that's where you can take one leg and do something with it. Starting to bring it in. However you need. One leg at a time. We're going to shift around onto our mat. Squeeze at our knees in. Give yourself a big hug. Gratitude for our practice today. Taking this time in your sanctuary, your mat. And then slowly, hands on knees, we're going to rock back. We're going to come to lying on our back, but you can decide if you'd like to do a little core work, working on that belly a little bit. If so, arms come out, one foot comes up, coming into boat. If your boat feels strong, push out into canoe, feet still up. You can do a couple of these if you like, or you can come all the way down and let it all go. Sigh it away. Roll your wrists, roll your ankles. And then let's bring our knees in one more time, making some circles on your low back. One direction, and then the other. Let's bring our arms out wide, and we'll let those knees just drip over to the left in a twist. Close your eyes if you like. Knees come back up through center, and then slowly drift to the other side. Gaze to the left. And coming back through center again. Give yourself a little squeeze, and then whatever final pose you'd like. Maybe that's happy baby. Maybe that's some leg lifts. You continue to work on your belly. Maybe that's bicycling it out. Let's take a few moments for our final poses. And then getting all of your props. Okay, grabbing your blanket, your eye pillow, your bolster for under your knees. Let's get ready for Shavasana. The time goes by quick. Maybe putting one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Allowing your heart space and your breath to connect. Imagining a line between the two, a cord. Breathing in, up to the heart. Breathing out, down to the belly. Finding softness in your shoulders, your knees, your tongue, and in your mind. Starting to come back. Soft movements in your fingers and toes. Maybe bringing your arms overhead for a good morning stretch. And then making your way over to your right side. Beja pose, where you see that little idea. How can you be more compassionate with yourself this week? And slowly taking your time, making your way up to seated, Anjali Mudra. Feeling balanced and strong. Maybe a little more open in your heart space. A little more compassionate. Together, let's bow. Let's say namaste. Namaste. Now coming back up, I offer you positive energy, just like rainbows shooting from my fingers. Positive, positive, positive. And then a big hug, virtual hugs from me to you.
Nice to meet you.
You can turn the speaker on. So we'll conclude this video, and hopefully you'll find this out here on YouTube pretty soon. So you've got a little extra practice. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah.